Hey guys, welcome to another episode of The Split Decision. You're joined by me, Taku, and my co-host to my side, Tom. And we have a very special guest. We're joined by Sara Blicavs. I think I butchered that. I'm sorry.
That's totally fine.
From the Southside Flyers. Welcome to The Split Decision.
Thank you very much. And I will correct you just to get it right in the future. The C is pronounced as TZ, so it's Blitzars. It's Latvian
Okay.
and it's ultra confusing, so don't worry.
Blitzars. Right.
Blitzars. So obviously, before we get into it, got to shout out our sponsors, Kremlin and Mahogany. Kremlin got masks out now. They got their new hoodies coming out soon. So we'll make sure to leave all the links in the description and use Taku10 and Tom10 at checkout for 10% off. And also check out our Instagram, close to that 100 followers for that giveaway. So make sure you guys go check that out. And I guess let's get straight into it. So Sarah, our first question for you is, do you remember how old you were when you sort of started playing basketball and that first memory you have playing it?
Yeah, I think I was 10 years old when I started. So I was a little bit later compared to the normal child. But I was lucky enough that we had a tennis court with a little half basketball court out in our backyard. So I was playing against my two older brothers for quite some time. I was losing a lot, but, I guess they taught me mental toughness. And yeah, I was heavily involved in athletics. So I always had the dream to make the Olympics for running. And then I hated individual sports. So I thought probably by 13 or 14, I was just only basketball.
Right. So, you just said that you were into athletics and stuff, but was there any reason that you really stuck to basketball and didn't go for anything else? Because in Melbourne, there's a range of different sports you can play. Was there any reason you stuck with it?
I really like the team aspect to basketball. I like sharing the highs and lows with other people, and athletics obviously is an individual sport, and I just couldn't hack being nervous by myself and the pressure of being by myself and training by myself all the time. So I fell into basketball and I was naturally athletic and pretty good at it, and I just thought I could make it probably in basketball. I can't sit down for more than 5 minutes, so school was never an option for me. So I just thought, I'll just go with basketball and see how we go.
So both your parents were Australian Olympians for playing basketball. Do you reckon this sort of pushed you towards playing basketball rather than a netball or a footy type situation?
No, not really, because like I said, I grew up doing athletics and so did my two older brothers. So I think, having a basketball ring outside and the whole family always playing helped. When I was a lot younger, my mum was still playing, so I did go and watch her play as well. And probably naturally I fell into it. It wasn't so much that they pushed me into it. But like I said, competing out in the backyard against the whole family probably, makes you fall into that sport a little bit as well. So,
Right. So when you're a kid, you said that, school wasn't really an option for you. But when you're a kid, did you hit that realization that you could definitely take this to a pro level, or you could continue your life out playing pro basketball?
I didn't until I was 16. And when I was 16, I made my first Victorian team, my first Australian camp, and my first AIS selection camp. And then at the end of that year, I actually went to the Australian Institute of Sport. So I think when I actually packed up and moved to Canberra, that's when I was like, oh, all right, I guess I'm doing this as a profession. It was kind of picked for me in a way. It wasn't so much something I chose, but I kind of fell into it and loved it. And right from the get-go at 16, you're independent and you're professional. And that's huge when you're, still developing and you're still so young. But I just absolutely loved it and just thought, if you can make money or something that you love doing, I may as well give it a crack. So,
Definitely.
Haven't looked back since.
So, growing up, did you have any sort of basketball idols that you looked up to that you sort of wanted to model your game after?
Not really, to be honest. I never watched basketball until maybe the last couple of years, I probably started watching WNBL as well. Really bad. I'm really sorry to say, but I've never watched a full NBA game. So that's bad.
Wow.
I've watched WNBA. This year I started watching WNBA, so I do that. And I watch highlights and all that stuff. But yeah, I haven't really been big on actually watching basketball. But I guess when you come to role models and all that stuff, my parents were huge, and my 2 older brothers, like I was just following in their footsteps. Whatever they were doing, I was doing. So I guess my brother Mark and Chris, were probably my inspiration growing up.
Right. So moving to your international career now, you said you made your first international debut for Australian under-16s team at the FIBA Oceania 16 Championship in 2009. What was it like getting that first call up to represent Australia?
Oh, it was just so insane. I guess probably back then you never realized you could represent your country either at such a young age. So I was a little bit shocked at like, what's this competition and where is it leading me? I was just so naive to the whole thing. But, we got to play in front of our home crowd. It was up in the Gold Coast and playing against New Zealand. And I think that just to be so professional and, have the whole outfit and the whole Australian team kit and getting to travel and, training camps and just how serious it all was. It was pretty cool, and it was super eye-opening because even at that age, playing for Australia is a massive jump physically and mentally. So it was a bit of a shock, but it was exciting all at the same time. And I guess that probably just drove my passion even further and made me want to continue on.
Right.
So you represented Australia multiple times in under 19 competitions at the FIBA under 17 World Championships in France, and also the under 19 World Championships in Chile. Was it sort of different when you traveled with that team and played in other countries as well?
Yeah, definitely. So when we went away for under 17s in France, for pretty much everyone bar 2 players, it was our very first overseas trip ever. Even, we never holidayed overseas or anything. So to experience, it equaled to 40 hours of travel to get there because it was a lot of bus, planes, airports, obviously. So to fly overseas for the first time, to be so tired, to be in a foreign country, the time difference and everything, it was very full on. And at that stage as well, so pretty much the whole team was from the Australian Institute of Sport also, and we hadn't seen family or gone home for about 3 months at that point. So to go from being away for a 3-month chunk to then going overseas and playing, I guess, world competition, it was super tough, it was just mentally draining. And then after the competition, I think everyone kind of broke down because it'd just been such a long whirlwind and, full of emotions, and it was tiring and everything. But, I guess that's what basketball life is. And now with the Opals, I think I've been overseas at one stint I went overseas 3 times in 3 months or something. So, that's what life's like now. If you want to be a professional, that's what it has to be like. And you pick it up and you get used to it and you learn your own travel routines and all that stuff. So it's fun now, but back in the day and back when you're younger, it is very draining.
All right. So you represented Australia at the FIBA Under 19 World Championship in Chile, where Australia had just missed out on bronze, placing 4th. What was it like representing Australia so many times as at such a young age? Sorry.
Yeah, just kind of like what I said, it was very exciting, and you didn't realize that you could do this much for Australia at such a young age, and it just put you in a good stead for Opals and what was to come. And it's really cool now. When I watch WNBA, I'm like, I remember playing against that person back when I was 17. Or when I was 19. It's crazy. So, and you kind of get to know these people, and then international competition, you still know them. And it's really cool to kind of know people from around the world and have friends from around the world. And it's just, like I said, if that's something that you aspire to, it's a good prep for Opals and all that.
Yeah.
Speaking about Opals, you made sort of your first debut for the Opals at the 2015 FIBA Oceania Championships, where Australia took home the gold and qualified for the 2016 Summer Olympics. What was that feeling like, getting like your first call up to like the senior Australian team and representing the Opals?
Yeah, that was wicked. And that was, I think we played the Rod Laver that tournament too, in front of about 15,000 people it was. So to be put into my first Australian team, receive my first senior women's Australian singlet. We had a singlet that had all past players' names on it. And I think the thing that was really special to me was my mum's last name was on it as well. So to receive a jersey that my mum, was a part of was awesome. I was so nervous playing in front of 15,000 people. And I remember I got out there and airballed my first shot. And I was like, what is this? People probably thought this girl's crap, get her off. But yeah, it's so cool. And I think the biggest thing is, experience is such a big tool to have. The more you I guess get into higher leagues and the further you go, you need experience, and the only way you get that is through experience. And I think just having these little opportunities has just made me more comfortable and more confident and more excited to play rather than, I guess, anxious or stressed or nervous, if you know what I mean. So yeah, it was unreal.
Was there a difference between did you feel a difference between representing the juniors and the seniors for Australia?
Yeah, big time. Physically was huge. So just you're up against women, and I guess back then you don't realize it, but it's like once women develop and start doing gym and stuff, they are strong. So that was just so eye-opening. Like a great example is when I was 16 and went to the Institute of Sport, the AIS were in the WNBL as well. So they had a team in WNBL. And basically we went up there, and within 2 weeks I was playing my first ever WNBL game, and it was against Lauren Jackson. And I was so thin and just had never done gym before. I was just so uncoordinated as a lanky giraffe out there. And I remember she literally just touched me and I flew off the court. Like, just so weak out there. And I think that was the biggest eye-opening thing from juniors to women's, is that these girls are strong. You drive or you cut through the key and you're getting bumped by 3 people, where juniors, they just let you go. All that, they're just tough, it's scary. But yeah, now I like to think I'm the one that does the pushing. I'm pretty good at gym now. I beat my brother in one-on-one the other day, so I'm feeling good about myself.
It's a dub. That's a dub.
Yeah.
It's a win. It's a win.
Big time.
Big win.
So you guys took home the gold in that competition. What did it mean to take home a gold medal and qualify Australia for the Summer Olympics in 2016?
It was unreal. It was such a cool feeling to actually win a gold medal in front of, like I said, 15,000 people too. It was, it was awesome to be involved in that. But also it was the start of my Australian career in a way. And, I didn't feel, I was a part of that team, but, I had no expectations of making the Olympics either. So it's not like I felt like that was my team and I helped and I did all that stuff. I was a bit like, I haven't solidified my spot either. So it was good. It was exciting. But like I said, I just had no pressure on myself and I was super carefree. I think I am still carefree. Like I'm just, a bit of like, what's up kind of person. So I'm just chill. Yeah, it was all right.
So with a very impressive international resume, what has been your favourite tournament to play in out of all of them that we've just mentioned?
Yeah, out of all of them, probably France this year. So we qualified for Tokyo, which was unreal, whenever Tokyo will be.
Yeah.
And I think I finally broke through my stress-free kind of play style. I guess like when I played this year in France, I felt very confident and very calm on court. And that's the first time I felt like that with the Australian team, where I felt completely comfortable and confident in my own ability. So I think that was a really good tournament for me. France is cool. It was nice playing over there. Yeah, as you do.
France is cool. France is chill.
But yeah, I was just really happy with how I went, I think, and I felt very much a part of that team, which was cool. And I feel like that's just built my confidence from there. And even though we're in ISO and we haven't really played much basketball, I'm probably as confident as I've ever been with my sport so far. So yeah, it's a nice feeling.
So as you mentioned, like back then, the AIS had a team in the WNBL. What was it like getting your first exposure to professional basketball and like playing for the AIS?
Yeah, I was so nervous. Honestly, it was just it was just so nerve-wracking. Like I said, I came up against Lauren Jackson. She's not the only big gun that was in the league at that time, but to go from training twice a week, playing once a week, to training 2-3 times a day, and then playing in WNBL, it's just like chaotic. But I picked it up quite quickly, and you know, it was kind of fun scoring against all these older people, these people that have been in the league for a while, and I'm like, oh, look at me go, you know what I mean? I like that aspect where I have a weird low-key feeling where I love seeing people who are supposed to be better than me getting angry if I'm doing well. I love that. I just feed off that. So when I was younger, I was just, if I was beating, the Opal squad players, I was just like, hey, you guys suck.
In your element. You're just in your element at the time.
Yeah, big time. So I absolutely loved it. It was great.
So, your first professional game is always a dream for a person. But what was that feeling when you first stepped onto the court and checked into your first game?
Oh, gosh. Like, I don't even remember it, honestly. But you're always bugging. Your first 2 minutes, you need a sub because you were just running 100%. You were just trying to hit everyone, just trying to do the best job you can whilst keeping your mind settled. And you're exhausted after the first 2 minutes. So you probably don't really remember that part. I think I needed a sub. And then when I came back on, you're much more relaxed. But yeah, like from memory, it was just super exciting. And, it'd be nice to go back to that feeling and stuff, see what it was like. I'm sure I called mum and dad afterwards and probably cried to them, but that's about it.
So when you were young and got like your first sort of minutes, what did you do to like grasp the moment and really take a hold and show sort of like the WNBL what you could do?
Oh gosh, you just like, I should have just gone and looked up my stats and stuff in the past because I don't even remember, to be honest. But I think, like I said, I was just trying to go at all the older ones, and but whilst doing that, also trying to learn from them. It's a hard job to defend someone and try and learn off them at the same time. But yeah, you can actually pick up so much if you really analyze their game. And I think just kind of being in that environment helped me a lot. And yeah, but like I said, I do not even remember my first year. I know it was chaotic and it was exciting all at the same time, and living away from home as well just adds to it. And yeah, it was great. I would never change it in the world. I love the Institute of Sport. I thought it was the best thing for me, and it was just, a wicked experience.
Right, so you then joined the Dandenong Rangers in the 2012-2013 season. Like, how was the transition, and what was it like for you to move from one club to the other?
That probably was the start of my professional career. Well, it was, because it was my first paid contract, and I think that alone, knowing that, oh sweet, like here we go, you're getting paid for what you enjoy doing, that was pretty awesome. And it was also such a different environment. Like, you're so well looked after at the Institute of Sport, so they have absolutely everything there in the one place. I don't know if you guys have ever been up there before or checked it out, but you've got every sport in the one place, the medical center, which has physio, doctors, dietitians, psychologists, everything. And then, you've got your gym and your strength coaches. You've got absolutely everything on hand for you and everyone to look after you as well. So coming out of that and then learning to still be professional, but having to travel a little bit more or move around, and, you're much more independent at that age. Yeah, that was a little bit different and probably a little bit harder. And when I came out of the Institute, WNBL didn't it wasn't like everyone could be full-time. Back then, people weren't getting paid as well. So we were training, I think, in the afternoons. I think we started at like 5 p.m. was trainings and stuff like that, where now we train at 10 o'clock, or like we're probably at the stadium from like 9 to 2:30. So we're actually professional now, which is awesome. But yeah, it was definitely different, but yeah, I loved it. Like it was good. Yeah.
So after your short stint at the Dandenong Rangers, you signed for the Bendigo Spirit. Was there a specific reason why you switched clubs again and signed for the Bendigo Spirit?
Oh, what?
Don't try and get stuff out of me.
Investigate.
I have my reasons for leaving. Initially, like I guess you just find teams that suit you. So at that time, I felt like I came out of the Institute of Sport super confident. You know, like I was picked to be the next big thing without sounding arrogant. I was at that age and I had that pressure kind of on me. And then I went into a team that kind of ruined my confidence, to be honest. It really did. Like a lot of stuff happened there and I just didn't feel happy. I didn't enjoy basketball. And unfortunately to say, after that season, I wanted to quit basketball, which was just like the worst thing that anyone at age 19 would go through. But yeah, I spoke to a netball coach. I was going to go play netball. My brother Mark was like, he literally nearly slapped me in the face to say, you are not playing netball. But yeah, I just wanted to go somewhere where I could kind of like chill out, focus on my game, and I guess find that love for basketball again. And Bendigo was a really good option, and they helped me a lot, which was good. So they got me back on track, I think.
So, well, the move paid off because you won your first WNBL championship. Am I right?
Yes.
So what was that feeling like, winning the championship?
Yeah, that was unreal. Honestly, that was like the best feeling in the world. Words cannot describe. Until you win a grand final, you'll never understand that whole feeling. Like, probably sounds bad, but the party afterwards was just awesome. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just everyone getting around each other, and yeah, it was just an unreal feeling. And I've been in for WNBL, I've been in another 3 grand finals since that and have lost all 3. So I'm just cherishing that moment and hoping I can get another one.
Don't worry, we'll pick your brains at them in a minute.
I mean, under 14s basketball championship. So I know the feeling.
Yeah, it's the same, hey? It's the same. I'm sure you're harder.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm sure the red corner after that was amazing.
14-year-olds going off. It was.
I'll tell you what.
So so during the 2015-16 season, you did return to the Dandenong Rangers. Was there sort of a reasoning behind going back and signing for them again?
Why did I change? Oh, just again, it just comes down to, I guess, player movement, and coaches and, you know, what they can offer you. I know Bendigo got a new coach that year, and I was in the starting 5, and a new coach came in and said, yeah, look, we can, you know, probably get you off the bench and stuff for that year. And I was just like, how is going backwards going to help my development? Like, come on now. Yeah. So Dandenong just had a good place for me. And I really felt like I excelled in Dandenong, which was nice. So that was just a really good environment for me. And yeah, haven't moved clubs since then, which has been nice. You know, Southside Flyers is technically Dandenong. And I like kind of just being a 1 or 2 club player. I don't like moving around too much. And yeah, it's been good.
Right. So then the following season from that, you and the Rangers made it to the finals facing the MHGNY Flames. And then you lost. I mean, what was it like losing that final series?
And then you lost. I'll say you lost.
Well, you know, how do you want me to sugarcoat it? You unfortunately did not get the win.
You guys didn't get the win that you're looking for.
We only breed winners.
You're not going to ask about every loss, are you? Like every grand final loss? You're not going to bring it up? Can I just like put them all in a hole?
Yeah, put them all in a hole.
Yeah, that was really annoying because I think we'd beaten Sydney a few times that year. So I thought that, you know, we've got this and stuff. And maybe that's where we went wrong. Maybe we went into it thinking that we had this and all that stuff. But Sydney just played awesome that grand final series and pretty much took us by surprise. So can't do anything about that, Lessons learned.
Lessons learned, move to the next one.
And lose the next one as well.
No, I said move to the next one. Move to the next one, not lose the next one. I can't get a break.
I'm just going to leave the meeting now, okay?
I said move to the next one. Not,
So,
digging yourself a hole.
I know, honestly, it's you know what? It's just one of those things.
In November 2017, unfortunately, you faced a setback when you went through an ACL injury. What was it like going through that and then sort of rehabbing through that injury?
That was pretty awful. It's weird. It's like probably one of the best things that could have happened to me because I learned a lot about myself and I think now coming out of it, I'm a much better basketballer. But in saying that, it wasn't just an ACL. I also tore the meniscus root off the bone, fractured my knee, and just now I have just long-term deterioration and all that other crap that goes on with your knee. So it was about 3 surgeries and about 8 setbacks for the whole 13 months that I was out. And so, yeah, that was really tough. I think it was just such a crappy year for me because I just went over to Phoenix for an Australian camp. I'd made the Australian team for the Asia Cup that year. The next year after that was Commonwealth Games and Worlds. And I really felt like I was going to be a part of that team now. I was, pretty much in amongst it. So to do that, miss out on Com Games and Worlds, and then now you're just like a whole step back. That was really tough. And I think, again, like I said, having 8 setbacks, mentally, that's very challenging for, I guess, any athlete trying to come back from injury. But, I bought into gym and I now understand how good strength and conditioning is when it comes to, being an elite athlete. I understand how good rehab and prehab is. So, I'm big on all of that stuff and I would never have known that unless I did an injury. So silver linings, it was a good thing that happened, but it just 13 months out is just no fun for anyone.
No, it's never fun. I mean, it's a I don't want to say it's a common injury, but we do see ACLs happen a lot. So another question I've got for you is would you have any advice for anyone that is going through an injury like that? If that makes sense.
Yeah. My biggest thing now to anyone is just make sure you're really buying into strength training. That's huge. You can do so much other stuff, but you have to make sure that all those little small muscles, you have to tend to them. So the first 2 months, the only thing I was really allowed to do was, straight leg lifts and just bending my knee and trying to get it straight and doing all this small as boring stuff, which a lot of people coming back from an ACL neglect. And then that puts them months behind. And I just absolutely motored through all that boring stuff, but I knew I had to do it. And I knew it was super beneficial. So just making sure you're doing all that, all the boring stuff that your physio gets you have to do that stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And surround yourself with good people. Look, it could be a lot harder for some, but I had really good support system around me and my family were great. And I think they got me through it too. So yeah, it was good.
Right.
So the Dandenong Rangers sort of switched up a bit.
Oh, here we go.
The Dandenong Rangers went through a bit of a rebrand and are now the Southside Flyers. What was it like being a player and going through that process? Well, being a part of that process sort of thing.
Yeah. It was a bit weird and a bit confusing all at the same time. I think when anyone goes through a big kind of restructure, I just try and stay out of anything that they're doing, unless it comes to team colours, which I said we should have pink, which got turned down straight away. But basically, other than that, I'm just it's okay. Just let me know who the coach is, let me know who the players are, and then I'll just go from there. So I just kind of stay out of all the other messy stuff that went on. And Southside Flyers has to be probably the most professional team I've ever been a part of. So I'm actually wrapped it happened. And the owner of Jayco Caravans. He owns us, Jerry Ryan, and he absolutely looks after all of us. And he's a fantastic owner, and you know, he's such a big advocate for women in sport too. So it's great to have him on board. And yeah, the club's really good now.
Right. So moving to more current issues, or not issues with your team, but like good things with your team. You had an amazing season, finishing on top of the ladder with 17-4. How did you guys reflect on this season?
I don't know, because we lost the grand final, so it's just.
You brought it up, not me.
I wasn't going to bring it up.
We weren't gonna bring it up. We were just gonna say great season, you know.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. I bet you what's your next question.
The question definitely wasn't on the page. So.
No, it definitely wasn't.
I definitely didn't just delete it.
Just as you like crossing it off. The Flyers was we had an unreal team. You know, our starting five. So it was Leilani Mitchell, the Opals starting point guard, Bet Cole, who's Australia's number 1 3-on-3 player, myself, Opals, Jenna O'Hay, I think she starts, the captain of the Opals, and Mercedes Russell, who is the centre for Seattle Storm. So we had a wicked team, including our benchies. Great season as well. Only lost, I think you said 4 games or something.
4 games, yeah.
So yeah, it was good. It was good. Losing the grand final though, we played Canberra, who they actually beat us twice during the season. And I think they beat us by like a significant margin as well. And to be honest, I think they were just better than us this year, and they deserved to win. They played better than us, and hopefully this season we can get them now. And you know, Kia Nurse, who scored like 30 points every game, she's not playing with them, so that helps.
Damn Canberra beats everyone.
Yeah.
So earlier this year you signed a training camp contract with the Phoenix Mercury in the WNBA. What was it like getting that call from the WNBA after such a stellar season in the WNBL?
Yeah, it was unreal, honestly. It's just been such a long-term goal for me. And another thing, the year I did my knee, I'd kind of spoken to Sandy a little bit, and I think I was potentially going to get that opportunity for that year after, but then I did my knee. So again, another thing that just really punched me in the face. But yeah, to get that call up this year, that was just, an incredible feeling. You know, I was so excited. I was so motivated. Like before, we had a few Zoom meetings because obviously with coronavirus, everything went backwards. But we had a few Zoom meetings with the team, and like I was just sitting back in my chair and just being like, oh, there's Diana Taurasi, Brittany Griner, Skylar Diggins. Like they're all a part of the team. Look at me just chatting to them. I was just like, this is incredible. You know what I mean? We had a Zoom meeting with the Phoenix Suns head coach, Monty Williams. Is that him? Yeah. And so just speaking to him too, I'm like, this is just so elite. You know, I was just, having a ball. Like I said, I was super motivated. I was training probably like at least twice a day. I was training, just trying to get myself as so ready as I could, which if anything has just helped me now. I feel like I'm the best player I've ever been. Unfortunately, coronavirus has ruined everyone's 2020, and training camp was not a thing, so I didn't get an opportunity to do it. So hopefully I can have an okay WNBL season this year and, get that tryout again next year.
Yeah, coronavirus is getting everyone these days.
Yeah,
but
no.
Let's not spend too much time on that.
No, that's all we're talking about, right?
No, I know. So, I mean, for our listeners who haven't watched you play basketball before, how would you describe your game to them?
How would I describe my game to them? I can't really work that out because I kind of play everywhere, and I try and, I guess I pride myself on my defense, rebounding, and I guess scoring in a whole lot of different options. Like I'm a really big guard. I'm almost 6'3", but I'm a 3-man as well, a 2-3. So, 2, 3, and 4. Sometimes 5 this year as well. And I like to think I'm a point guard too. So I kind of just play everywhere and do all that stuff. But I think, not to talk myself up too much, but I think I bring really good energy and positive energy. to any team that I kind of play on, and you know, I just want everyone to do well. So I like to think I'm a big hype woman, you know, and that's something that I'm great at.
Oh, apparently that's my professional description. I'm on the bench. I'm just a hype guy. I'm just like,
yeah.
Sees me
Surely you've got a few. Do you have a few of those?
Yeah, we've got a few of those. But Taku's the leader on our bench. He's just like, yeah, good job, Tom. Great three. I'm just like,
no. I'm so surprised you didn't bring up your game-winning free throws yet.
Oh, I mean, if you want to bring up the game-winning free throws, you know, we can talk about it. But I don't have all day.
No, let's do it.
No, I mean, I was just.
Yeah, he brings it up every episode.
It was.
Now's your chance to hype yourself up.
It was against Trinity. It was a dark, stormy day. You know, it was it was the last. So it was the last game for our basketball, like in year 12.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like no more
basketball. What school was this?
Penley, Neston Grammar.
You guys are Penley. Okay.
Yeah, we're Penley, and that's it. So it was the last game of it. We were down by 4. We were down by 4 with like 30 seconds left, right? And one of our mates, I think it was Lockie Golan, had like hit a layup, right, to put us down by 2. They're running up the court, and we half court press them, and I strip the ball. And as I'm on the fast break, the guy like rips my jumper basically. So I get 2. So we get 2 free throws, and then we get to inbound it. So I hit the first. I'm shaking. I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna miss both of these. I hit the first one, and I was hyped. I was like, yes, come on. And then I look at the bench, and we got this old bloke as a coach, Mr. Quirk, and he's like, his face was so grumpy. Like when he was watching me shoot, I was like, oh man, hit the second one. I hit the second one, and I just let out this massive scream, and then like all my mates on the field just like, you know, high five. And then, you know, so we get the ball because there was a fast break foul. What's it called? I forgot what it's called.
Path foul.
Yeah. And then so
Clear path foul.
Oh, okay, right.
So we inbound it, and our big mate Tom Orr, right? We've still got like 10 seconds left on the clock. We inbound it. He decides, oh no, I'm not gonna chuck it into the open big man in the paint. I'll shoot from half court with 10 seconds left. He shoots, bricks everything. They get the ball, and then like that was it. That was in the game. So we tied, and they didn't have any overtime. And we asked for overtime because we were the last game of that court, and they're like, no.
Yeah. They didn't give you overtime? What?
No, they didn't give us overtime because that's how school works. They don't give you overtime because everyone's got like a set schedule and like when the bus comes and goes. And we're like,
what was your big guy doing?
No, it was Ori. He was good during the season. He just had one mistake that cost us.
Oh no, you will not live that down.
Yeah, Ori, if you'd listen to this, mate, you owe me.
Do better.
You're us. Anyway. That was the story.
Way to hit your free throws, though. Way to hit your free throws.
I practice it every year. Year. You know.
Oh my god.
I wasn't even starting point guard. I was a bench point guard. No. I was that game because our starting point guard did his knee or something. James Lolliger. James Lolliger.
Oh, it was James
Lolliger. He did his knee. Yeah, he did his knee or something. So.
Oh, so you got to start. That's all right.
I got to start. I was like, come on.
Your time to shine.
I tell you what, I shone. Anyway, moving back to back to where we were.
Do you want me to start interviewing you guys?
Honestly, if you want to talk about that year, it was a rough year. It was year 11.
Oh,
man. A rough year.
Do you have any more?
I just love it. The glory days. The glory days.
Tomorrow we have editors. It was literally last year.
Are you guys retired now?
I played football, not basketball anymore. He plays basketball still. Oh, he used to play basketball.
I don't know. It matters if Jeff Stores come back. You know.
Yeah.
I might come out of retirement.
Yeah.
I was never invited.
Not if I'm invited to the training camp, but
yeah. So, anyway, back to we spent too long on that.
But you had a form like flashback. I could see like you were back in that memory. You're just like watching yourself shoot those free throws.
All I'm gonna say is we were undefeated the whole second half of the season. That was the only game we drew/lost.
Undefeated second half of the season. You weren't undefeated.
Oh no, the first half of the season we lost like 5 out of our like 8 games. It was terrible.
You can tell he's loving it though, because he's just like gazing out into the distance. Like
Oh
he's
yeah,
just
I was
looking
like,
at me.
I was just thinking about it before. I don't know. Year 12 was a special year. It was a special year 12. Take me back.
Well, let's get back to interviewing you. But so you've done a lot of amazing things in your career. But do you have any other remaining goals you have as your career continues to pan out?
Yeah, the two biggest ones would be WNBA and the Olympics. So WNBA, like I said, that's just so big on my list, and you know, it's just something that I really want to give a try. You know, at least have the opportunity to give it a try as well. And then Olympics, like that's everyone's goal, playing basketball, and if it isn't, you guys are crazy. So yeah, I don't know when it's going to be. Like hopefully next year, but might have to be the year after. Who knows? Yeah, it's just a crazy time right now. I'm lucky because I'm younger, so it won't really affect me what year it is in. You'd hate to be, I guess, an older Olympian hoping that it was going to be this year, and it's not. So, but yeah, like I said, WNBA and Olympics, big time.
Right. So, I mean, now we're moving on to like more of the questions when we get our fans or our followers to ask us questions to ask you. So it's just like a mix of random questions. But like this one's from us too. We know you just said you only watched NBA for the last 2 years, right? But it's an important question. Who is your NBA GOAT?
There's only one right answer that I'm
Well,
going to
that's
accept,
easy
so.
for me, but it's only because I have a crush on this guy. So it's like, I don't even know. But he's a wicked player. Devin Booker, hands down.
He just hit a game-winning 3 today.
Well, his game-winning shot today is just ridiculous. But
That was insane.
so
that was insane.
Yeah, we had a camp up in Phoenix. So the Australian coach is the Phoenix WNBA head coach. And so rather than her coming back down to Australia for a camp, she likes to bring, you know, all the Australian athletes up to Phoenix to go and, you know, do the camp over there. And Phoenix Mercury and Suns are in the same place. So I remember I got to training early one day and I was just waiting by the courts and I was just watching this guy shoot around. Like he had like 3 coaches around. And turns out it was Devin Booker. But
Right.
yeah, I was just sitting back like, oh my gosh, first of all, this guy is cute as. And secondly, he is not missing a shot. Like he was just so good. I was like, what the hell?
Automatic.
Who is this player? Yeah. This was only 3 years ago too. So he had made a name for himself. But like I said, I just didn't watch NBA or anything. But I was just like, damn, this guy is good. And then, yeah, I've kind of, as I've started to watch it more, I've seen highlights and then I'm just like, he's an incredible player.
You could say
I think
he got
there's
you
a
into
stat. There's a stat my brother tagged me in this year that Devin Booker in his career so far is more likely to hit a 30-point game than he is to hit anything under 20 points. And that's just ridiculous.
Insane.
Ridiculous.
He's carrying Phoenix right now so hard.
And he's
Yeah.
heavily slept on as well, which is
yeah.
bad. It's actually disgusting how
The only
NBA fans forget about Devin Booker.
Yeah.
The only person that gave him respect was Drake in his song when he said, "Wet like I'm Book," you know.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
doesn't get much respect, does he?
He doesn't get much respect. Everyone sleeps on him.
To be fair, Kobe knew.
Yeah,
like,
Kobe,
back in
to be
2016,
fair, yeah.
Kobe was like, hey, Devin Booker's got next. But
Yeah.
He did say that.
He just needs to win a championship and then he'll be on board.
Shout out your brother for the
Devin
statistic as
Booker
well.
and DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah.
Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton, I'm telling you, Phoenix, they just need better sort of surrounding pieces, and who knows?
Yeah.
They got DeAndre Ayton now, you know, you don't know.
Soon.
Soon.
So, on to our sort of next question. You said you sort of started watching WNBA this year and last year as well, but who would you say your WNBA GOAT is?
I only see one right answer.
Yeah, I know.
Is it the one I'm thinking? I don't think it's the one I'm thinking.
No, I've got a different one now.
Okay.
I mean, like, back in the day, or like a couple of years ago, of course, Diana Taurasi is everyone's GOAT. Like, she's the women's MJ. But who I really enjoy watching at the moment, I mean, Bria Hartley, who's part of Phoenix right now, is killing it. She got 27 and then 26 for Phoenix off the bench. But she gets her team involved big time, and yeah, she's unreal to watch. Emma Mieseman, she's a Belgium girl.
Yeah.
And she, like, when you watch her, nothing fancy, just does what she does and will end the game with 30 and 20. And it's like, where did that come from? But I just really like humble, good players who just go on court, do what they do, no carry on, and, you know, that's it. You know, I like people. I can't stand people that, you know, make one layup for the game and all like, and all this stuff. Oh, this does my head in. And
it's like, get in the bin, mate.
Definitely not Tom.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely not Tom. So
Who?
You, definitely not you.
Yeah, but at least I hit game-winning free throws. So
you really do just live off those free throws.
No, I also won a premiership in football in 2016. All right, I have that as well.
This is what I live with.
You just live off the Kendrick Lamar concert.
I'm really gonna Tang.
Anyway.
No, but someone I really think has an opportunity to really challenge for the WNBA GOAT title is Sabrina Ionescu. I think that's how you say it.
Yeah.
Like, her first couple games in the WNBA has been mental.
Yeah.
And she's only a rookie, so I'm saying.
Yeah. But the overall GOAT is Lauren Jackson, if we're looking at this, like, logically, right? Or is that what we're saying?
Yeah. I think Ezzy Magaball could be like a new GOAT coming up as well, the Australian.
You don't know. Well, time will tell. Kind of thing, you know. Everyone's young. They still got years to come.
Yeah, big time. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe when you're in the WNBA, you blow up.
That's what I'm hoping for, right?
30-35 a game.
No, you have to now. So it's like,
you have to now. You've
decision that one time, and then we're
you've spoken it into existence. It's going to happen. Don't worry.
I just want to hit 2 free throws. Give me back on this podcast. I'll talk it up.
Don't worry. We'll give you a whole episode just to talk up those free throws.
Yeah.
But we want it like in detail.
The crowd, the silence.
And then we'll ask about all the other premierships that you've lost as well.
That was low.
I did not want you to get ripped into.
Yeah, I know. I mean, back to it. We zoned off for a huge amount of time there. So, I mean, going back to it, is there anything that pro athletes do that like people, or like the general public, wouldn't really understand or really know about? Do they go through?
I guess like the biggest thing is probably training your brain. Like, that's huge for elite athletes. Everyone can have, you know, not everyone can be athletic, but I mean, if you're an elite sport, you're most likely athletic and you most likely have the talent. And I think just mentally, that's what will get you over the edge. And it's crazy, like 90% of sport is mental and 10% is physical, and yet we only train probably 2% of our brain. And that's something that I've really bought into. Probably towards the end of last year, I started seeing a sports psych, and I guess like sports psychology has such a stigma behind it. Like, oh my God, you're seeing a psychologist, you must be crazy. But the only reason why I'm seeing my sports psych is to build my confidence, learn certain strategies to calm myself out on court. I do a whole heap of visualization and imagery with him. So I used to do it weekly during the WNBL season, and he would almost put me in a bit of a hypnotic state and make me visualize playing against the team we were going to play against that week, and players and doing different moves. And he's been wicked for me, and you know, he's been so good just to kind of get me over that edge. And he's someone that I'm most likely going to work with now for the rest of my career. Like I said, like training your brain's huge, because you can just see it in certain games. You can see people who, I guess, choke, and you know, that's a massive part of sport. And or people like MJ, who I don't think anything affected his brain ever, and he just went out there and just boom.
Just did it.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really big point. Even like mental health in general as well has really taken a big stride. Like now people are really focusing on their mental health, and it isn't being as stigmatized as it once was. So that's something really good.
Yeah, one of our friends, Brady, he has a What is it, Taku? I forgot what it is specifically.
I can't remember the name. Oh yeah, the Brady looks at men's mental health.
Yeah, it
I
helps
remember
people
that.
out with mental health. It's
Yeah. Well, that's it.
I-
Even in elite athletes, like mental health, and I know depression's huge, and it's something that like athletes can't handle pressure sometimes, and especially if you're in like a bigger sport like AFL as well. You know, you're getting ripped into on the internet, on social media.
yeah.
Like everyone, you're gonna have, you know, a lot of people that will love you, but you're always gonna have people that are gonna hate you and hate your game. So I think that's huge, and yeah, I feel like I just wish more people would work with sports psychs as well.
yeah, definitely. Moving on to a happier note then. What's your so far, like if you were to look at your career as a whole now, what would you say your favorite memory is so far?
Beating my brother Chris in 1-on-1 this year. And because it was legitimate. That's the thing though. It was legitimate, and he has openly said that it was legitimate. It's not like he wasn't going easy or anything. It was just like the most successful moment in my sporting career so far.
Come on, call him trash on here.
My family is so competitive, so to do that was just unreal. But I have another brother, Mark. So Chris plays basketball and has played all his life, and then my other brother, Mark, plays Geelong AFL. Yeah, and he did play basketball as well, but during this ISO time before they started playing games again, he was working out with me and doing basketball sessions, which was really cool.
Right.
And I'm afraid to say, but he actually beat me in 1-on-1, which is just like the worst feeling ever, because it's like, this is a footy player, but he's
Doesn't
just
even play
so
the
big.
sport.
Yeah, he's just so big and athletic, and he can still play. Like, he's still got handles and stuff. And I'd taken him for 4 indies as well prior to this, so he was like ready to go.
He was on.
But yeah, beating my other brother Chris, I was just wrapped. I was just like, yeah, it's best feeling in the world.
Hey, Chris, you're trash, kid. If you're listening to this, Chris, just know we got you covered.
Yes, right.
You heard it here first. You heard it here first.
Oh.
We don't hold back on this podcast. Evidently.
Evidently, oh man. So, do you have a specific pre-game routine, sort of like superstitions or anything like that?
Probably not. I mean, you know how towards the end of warm-up everyone does layups? That's just normal, I guess. I just have a certain layup routine that I always do. Like, it's the whole, you know, right hand layup, block shot, 1 dribble jumper, 3, left hand layup, left hand jump shot. You know, those are just my routine for some reason. But other than that, no, I don't really do anything. I just probably have a chicken avocado for lunch. That's basically the norm every single time I play. And other than that, nah, I'm pretty chill.
No pre-game nap?
No, I can't nap. I can't nap during the day normally, but before a game, I wake up. I'm sure a lot of people do. You wake up angry after naps because you can't sleep for too long. It pisses me off. So it's like, why do I want to feel like that? Just makes me more lethargic. So no naps.
It depends on the kind of nap, you know. Like if it's like, it just depends on the place you are. You can't sleep on sleep. That's what we go by here. We live by that.
Yeah.
Don't sleep on sleep.
The motto, don't sleep
Nah,
on sleep.
just rely on coffee.
Yeah, coffee does the job.
Yeah.
Coffee definitely does the job.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when you're not playing basketball, what else are you doing like to fill in time during the days?
Yeah. I do a lot of recovery, but I guess it's hard because it's like I don't even remember what it was like to be playing basketball during this year. I'm trying to think back, but no, I live in Geelong, so I'm a massive beacher. So I'll be at the ocean like every day if I can. I used to try to surf. I can't claim I can stand up. That's good enough. So I've been kind of getting back into that again this year, and I'm a super arty kind of person, so I like to like draw and paint and you know, try and be creative. And then I think for me also, like, my biggest thing is music. I just love music. I love all types of music, so I can sit on Spotify for like 3 hours a day at one time, just creating playlists and searching for new stuff. Honestly, I just love it so much. It's like my zone out time. So
you sound exactly like him. He literally sits there for hours just creating the same playlist over and over. I'm like, you gotta have different songs.
It's not the same playlist. It's like
It's different flavors. Yeah, it's different flavors. You gotta take you experiment. 'Cause you want to change stuff. You want to take some stuff.
You have one for every single mood.
That's what you're supposed to do, though. Music is a vibe. It's like,
it is a vibe. It is a
vibe.
When you're feeling this way, yeah. Come on now.
I mean, the song.
We're the people that people want at parties.
Yeah.
Fact. Hey, put me on the aux. I'm telling you.
Hold on. Look.
And then here we go.
No, I'm not gonna.
I'm a DJ. Okay.
All right. Fair enough.
All right, bro.
Like, what's the song that's been on your rotation like constantly? You reckon most recently?
Let me look it up for you.
Mine's
Seriously?
definitely Money Trees. I don't know why Money Trees by Kendrick Lamar has been going off on my playlist right now.
Oh, really? Has it? It just
Yeah.
depends. Like, I've got a summer raves playlist on Spotify that I created that I've been using heavily in gym at the moment.
Right.
So that's big time. That's a little bit kind of house alternate, kind of like if you're having a couple of sneaky drinks during the day kind of playlist.
Bit of house, love a bit of house.
Yeah, that's it. Childish Gambino's high up there for me. I love Childish big time.
Childish Gambino's good. Oh man,
what a king!
Yeah, he's just like super talented. I just love like anything to do with him.
He's retired.
And then I actually, when my Spotify came up with your 2019, Drake was my number one played, which I was surprised with.
I swear Drake sneaks in though. Drake always sneaks in. Like Drake was like number 4 for me, and I'm like, I swear I don't listen to that much Drake, but Drake just always just somehow sneaks in.
Crazy, and that's what I thought too. But then I'm like, well, Non-Stop, that song was on big time for me last year. So I'm like, I think that's where he got his views. What about you guys? What are you guys into?
I don't know. For me, I don't know. Right now I'm really stuck on Fire Squad by J. Cole.
Right.
That's been like my number one for like the past week. I've been non-stop and able to stop listening to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, interruption.
That's all good.
What have I been listening to? As I said, right now it's a lot of Kendrick Lamar. The Kid Laroi just released an album, so I've been listening to heaps of him. But other than that, I just love throwback songs, to be honest. Like, I go back to, like, my 2012. Like, you know, I made a playlist, like, from the era 2008 to, like, 2015 music, and I've just mashed it into one. So, like, I've got all my throwback tunes, and I've just been listening to that on repeat, basically. I don't know why. Just real nostalgic recently.
Yeah, fair enough. That's fine. I mean, I hate radio. Like, I think radio music is just so awful. It just does my head in. So I love a good throwback. I'm massively into, like, Red Hot Chili Peppers when I go for runs as well. They hype me up.
Right. Nice.
So our sort of final question for you is, you've sort of achieved the dream, becoming a professional athlete. So do you have any advice for a young Australian kid out there who wants to go pro in basketball or any sort of sport in the future?
I guess it's just, you know, you got to be able to work hard and train. And I think the biggest thing is be coachable. That's huge. And especially kind of now, kids are just kind of handed it to them in a way. Like that's what it's like right now. And they feel like they're, you know, I just feel like they're not as tough as what we used to be in a way. Like when I came out of the institute, I had coaches, even at the institute, coaches ripping into me, yelling at me, being so direct, like, you're not good at this, you need to work on this, right? And it was fine. I responded well to that. I just feel like now with kids these days, if they get yelled at, they then go cry to their parents, and then the parents go and complain. And it just doesn't, you have to be coachable. I mean, you can't think that you're perfect. Like, even right now, I'm 27 and no way am I perfect. And I still need coaches to tell me what I need to get better at. But some people just can't listen to that. They just think they're great already. So I think if you can kind of change your mindset and realize like they're trying to help you and you need to work on that stuff, that's wicked. And actually go and work on it. You know, you got to be able to train all the time, or at least put the effort into it. But yeah, being coachable, that will get you really far. And in basketball, being versatile, like I don't, besides a point guard and maybe a 5, there's no real positions anymore. You can kind of play everywhere, and you have to be able to have a whole range of skills now. It's not just you're a 2-man, you shoot from outside. You have to do so much more. So being versatile too.
Be a utility to the team.
A Swiss Army knife, if you
could say. Yeah, that's right.
So thank you so much for coming on the podcast. This was amazing, and amazing for having.
How are you on a podcast? You can't be speaking.
I can't speak. It was amazing having you on the podcast, and thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening. Make sure you check out all the links in the description, and 5-star on Apple Podcast does bits, and we'll see you guys next Tuesday.